everyone, Rose Smith here from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and I'm here today to do the Libra Horoscope for 2018. Now, this is just a brief overview. It's by no means exhaustive, but just an idea of what's coming up for you, all you lovely Librans, myself included, because I am a Libran. I will be putting this on the website very shortly, and it will also include a more in-depth overview, if you like, of what's going on for you, along with your love life and your career prospects for 2018. Okay, so we're going to start now. Well, gosh, I was a bit like taken aback when I did this horoscope. And basically it's going to be a hugely intense year for lovely Librans. There's quite a strong Saturn influence that's coming in, and what's going to happen is you're being, or I should say we're being poised for a major growth spurt. But what often happens before we grow is we have to go through a period of restriction. And it's a bit like a snake with the skin, and the snake's about to cast off the old skin and leave it hanging on the backyard fence. That's where we're at. So as we grow, and this is a normal psychological development stage of life. There's nothing kind of unusual about this. You know, we have this idea that when we're kids, we go through different stages and then we think that's it. No. We actually go through different developmental stages the whole of our lives. So some are bigger than others. But this is quite a big one involving Saturn. And so what will happen is the old identity, it's not really relevant anymore, how we're portraying ourselves in the world. There's a lot more potential and a lot more growth and opportunity to come for lovely Librans. But we have to cast off the old identity before that, and it leaves the new fresh pink skin of identity there. So we will go through this kind of period of letting go of stuff. There's quite a strong kind of influence also happening that I'll talk about later in the 8th house. Well, where is it? I'll talk about it now actually, because it's pretty important. If I can find it. It's in the 8th house. Well, I'll just talk about it anyway, even though I can't find it in my notes. Okay, so it's in Scorpio, I remember that. And it's very intense about the cycles of regeneration. And so that can include things like sex, death, rebirth, and we're going to be regenerated again, which is good news ultimately, you know. So we'll come out of this feeling more refreshed and have more energy, and with a kind of updated identity. Think of it as putting a new patch into your computer and you're just having a major update. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. It'll be unexpected things, and it's also in the 4th house, which is around home and family. So we might find that people we've become accustomed to, something happens and they move out of our lives, or there's some kind of breaking away to do with home and family. That could be your kids growing up and leaving home, or going to university perhaps, or in some cases it might mean divorce, or it could even mean, you know, very serious illness or something else along those lines. So it's quite a life shake-up. And so sometimes we need to prune, spiritually I'm talking about, there needs to be a pruning to make space for the new things to come in. Okay, the good news, and there is a lot of good news, so I don't want you to be freaking out and going, oh, woe is me, because there's some fantastic opportunities in career, business and finance for lovely Librans, and that's due to our mother Jupiter, who is the planet of abundance. I just love this planet. My two favourite planets, Jupiter and Venus. I love these two planets. And Jupiter is there most of the year until November in our sign, so we could get a work promotion with extra money coming in. There could be, if we're working, we might decide we're going to start up a little side business, and that starts to pick up. So there's like all these work opportunities, and really, I know myself, there's so many opportunities. Then what happens is you have to decide which one to take, because there's too many. So it's like, you know, which one? And Librans, of course, can be indecisive and tend to procrastinate about, you know, what we should do. So that is more likely to be the issue of too many opportunities and which one do I take. Okay, there's a lot of other influences that's strengthening that as well, including a solar eclipse on the 12th of July. And that's great for new beginnings around career, if you want to change jobs, you know, or a new career project, something you have to do at work that you've been putting off because you haven't got the energy, or you're procrastinating or whatever. 12th of July, that kind of should give you a bit of a boost. All of this that happens to do with your family is ultimately to make us stronger, so that we're not too reliant on other people, when really, regardless of family and children and partners and everybody else in our lives, really we have to learn to rely on ourselves ultimately. Okay, I know some people will find that a bit daunting when I say that. So there are good changes also with friends and romantic partners with the eclipses of the 31st of January and 11th of August. New lovers might arrive around the 15th of February or the 27th of July. Now, I've got a date there, but, you know, don't take it as gospel that it must be the 15th of July. It just means that the energy around that time is more conducive. Okay? 5th of May brings in Mr. Mars in a grumpy, touchy mood in Aquarius in the 5th house. 5th house is all about creativity, romance and fun. So just be a little bit careful with your friends and lovers at that time, that you know, you're not irritable. You're not in an irritable mood. And then from Mr. Mars is then going backwards, or that's also known as retrograde, from the 27th of June until mid-August, again in the 4th house, which is family, foundations and your home. Now, incidentally, while I was writing the horoscope, I kept getting flashes about repairs around the house, like floorboards being pulled up, plumbing and roofing. And I'm sorry if all of that happens to you. Hope it doesn't happen to me. But yeah, oh God, I got a feeling now. And it's like something goes wrong, like a leak, a water leak or something like that. So just bear that in mind. And someone can ask me in a 6 months' time, did that happen to you, Rose? Family, around that time of the repairs and the renovations, family arguments, of course, because everybody's stressed because their house is getting torn down to repair these things. Beautiful energy in August when Venus comes home to reside, and Venus helps us. It's our ruling planet, so it's got a lot of power and significance for us Librans. And it's the appreciation of beauty. We might go out and buy new clothes or making things beautiful. We might be fixing the house up after the carry on with the floorboards or whatever, and redecorating it. And so ultimately it comes out better, is my point. That's over to September, that energy. It's also good for relationships and love. Venus is in love with the idea of love, and so are Librans. And then it goes, Miss Venus is going retrograde or backwards from the 6th of October until the 16th of November. So things might go quieter then, feeling a bit flat, and then it picks up again, and the lovely feelings are coming back in, the wanting to redecorate, the loving and nurturing of everybody around. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other for Librans, because there's some really intense times and there's some really lovely times. Now Mercury goes retrograde 3 times this year, and it affects all the star signs. The dates are 22nd of March until the 15th of April, 26th of July until the 19th of August, and 16th of November until the 6th of December, when Mercury causes confusion in the work zone. Okay, so those dates, there's a few days either side of that called a shadow period, so just be aware that things can go missing in terms of communications. Not a good idea to do important business or sign contracts or legal things. Okay, so in summary, lovely Librans, it's a kind of mixed year for you. Increases in finance, business, promotions at work, jobs around the house, some lovely energy with lovers and partners, but something major in the family or around the home, whether it be some sort of problem with the water or the roof or something like that, and people in the family kind of making their own way or going off, becoming more distant in some way. So thank you very much for listening. Please go over to absolutesoulsecrets.com. I've already got most of the first half. I've got all of the first half of astrological signs are up there and waiting for you to go and have a look now. Good. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.